It's a difficult time, isn't it? I mean, how are
Yeah.
you doing with tax returns and things?
Oh, I don't know. I think we've got about, I think it's about 10 left or something like that thing, or 10
10?
or 15 or something like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's fab.
Yeah, it's not too, and it's the people who are the, the usual culprits, so yeah.
Yeah, usual suspects. They're always the same. Hi, Chris.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Not bad, thank you. Hardly any left to do now. They're all just with a couple of queries outstanding, or they're ones who just haven't responded to the emails, haven't responded to the WhatsApps, so they'll be late. Well, they get done in February or whenever. But yeah.
How does this feel compared to last year?
Better. We've done doing more, and we've done better with them. So you had nearly. I'd aimed the aim was to get everything we could done sort of November time. We actually were, so August, actually December wasn't too bad, but we had a very disruptive December with COVID for various reasons. We didn't have it, neither I nor Archie had it, but we had to do various tests and isolate and all that sort of stuff for a bit until we had the negative test, I mean. So yeah. So we're starting off New Year without being plagued by loads and loads of tax returns, and I was quite relaxed about it. Now, if they haven't responded, there's nothing I can do. Call them, WhatsApp them, text them, send them emails. You've done everything you can.
Yeah. Oh.
And that does not get covered by our money back guarantee for being late, I can assure you.
Oh, can't hear you, Emma.
Yeah, you went quiet then, Emma.
No, can't hear. Still can't hear.
I'll put a I'll put a thing in the chat.
Is that better?
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Perfect.
Yeah. So new headphones are playing up, so I'll have to find out about that. Okay. I'm glad that, because I think that's the thing we're talking about, is that ultimately it's their responsibility, isn't it, to put their tax return in. You're just doing the work to make sure they've got the right numbers. It's ultimately their responsibility. Yeah. So it's quite nice not having that weight on your shoulders at this point when you're going, you know what, I've done all I can.
Yeah. So what we're actually, one of the lessons that we've learned, actually picked up with Andrew last week on our PGE call, is to look through and actually, say we got through it this year. This is when we'd like to do it next year. So get it fixed in the minds. So a lot of them we can actually do coterminously with their year end stuff and get everything out. So they have sort of one set of documents to look at. There's a one as well who's signing up to because we're going through looking at the 6 star now, the 30-minute catch up each month. She always takes an hour and a half, but I said, you're going to be stuck to 30 minutes. That's what you're paying for. And she said, yes, she needs that help to be organized, and it just gets better and better. But yeah, it's the same. Yeah. The one who's kind of said he will. I know I've got to do it. He's always late. And actually his tax return is, once he gets the information, actually his tax return is very quick because he doesn't have a lot. He just lists it out. But, we tell him each year, the earlier you do it, the less time there is for HMRC to open an inquiry. And the later you are, the more likely you are to be picked up. And even if you're doing it into February, I bet that'll be an opportunity to all these people will have a look at these, because how come they didn't get it done by January? Yeah. Even if you've had COVID, you still have flipping 10 months, haven't you?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It's not. And I wish they'd ask us, because I don't think there should be an extension this year, because they haven't, because we've been out of lockdown since whenever. And I know it is disruptive, but it just allows that, it immediately allows those things. Okay, I don't have to do it till February. And it's a nuisance for us because we don't want to be doing these tax returns in February. We want to be getting on with other things.
Yeah, I know some members have even,
agree.
Yeah, I think some members have even actually said to their clients, you may have heard about this extension, but my team already have work to do after January. So, actually,
that's a good point. I'll send that out to the last two. There's only two one I think she may have just disappeared. She hasn't responded to anything I've sent her for some time, and she's an overseas client. she'll do it whenever, but she'll get the fine because she hasn't told me that she sold the property, and I know she hasn't sold the property. You can find these things out. It's a simple tax return, and that's probably why they think, oh, I don't need to. But you know, so.
Hi, Dawn. Nice to have you back on. Are things any better for you this week, Dawn?
That's not too bad, really. Yeah, we're just getting there. As I said, the last time I spoke to you, I've got over the feeling bad about everybody. If they haven't got their stuff by now, well, then that's their problem. I'm getting tougher. Took me 30 odd years, but there you go.
And how are you doing, Julian?
Pretty much the same as everybody else, I think, by the sounds of it.
Good.
I've got five left. 3 of them I'm actively working on, so just queries with the clients. One has been parked for a while. I've just not heard from the client, but they know they've got to provide me some information. They give me the bulk of it, they just haven't given me the last little bits to finish it off. And one, I haven't heard from him at all. And I think one of the other gentlemen may have said earlier, similar, he'll just drop it in last minute. And it's very simple, straightforward. It'll all come in neat and tidy, and I just put the information in the boxes and off it goes. But he leaves it till the very last minute. And what's annoying, he doesn't communicate. I keep sending him messages, not a picture of him, and then all of a sudden, last minute, he goes, "Here's all my stuff."
Obviously, you do you offer a money back guarantee, Julian?
No, these are. I'm fairly new to AVN.
Okay.
And so that's something new that I'd be building into my new clients, but these are existing ones that I had.
Yeah, just make sure for just, you know, I know if the money back guarantee, we are slowly upgrading. There's some I get are quite old and need to be signed off, but in there it does make clear. I mean, you know, with these things that sometimes I think, oh, I got my money back. No, you don't get your money back guarantee, because often these are small. You know, these as you say, they're just a few tip balls. But just make it clear that when you do introduce it, that you say you're now outside the money back. You're now outside the money back guarantee.
That's useful, yes.
Obviously, if they haven't paid you, and some of them have actually wanted, I say, oh, do I get money back? So, well, you're late with your invoice this month. So no, you don't get your money back guarantee. You have to be, it is a money back. And that implies that money has to have been paid. So if you haven't paid, you don't get the money back.
That's it. It's rather frustrating. Everything's left to the last minute. And I would be in a lot better position. And like everybody else, there's other things that I could be working on or dealing with.
Well, one thing, so I was saying, one thing that we're going to do, which came up as a recommendation from Andrew Miller in our PGE call last week, is actually take the time, which we've now got because we are ahead. We're better than I thought. I planned for the best, and we've actually got most of the way there. Is then write out saying, thanks very much for your tax return. These are reasons to get it to us earlier. This is when we're going to slot it in for you next year. This is when we're going to do it, and tell them now and remind them. And then, you know, okay, if they then again, if they ignore, and then you can, you know, with some of the systems, you can actually send SMSs out, so they have so it has a ping. And you'd be surprised actually it does say, oh, I'm really sorry, I should have got it to you by now. And that's actually brought forward a lot of tax returns for us. So December was really busy getting them all out of the way, but it meant that January is now, whereas I used to get stressed about it. And now I think, no, if they don't get the stuff to me, if they've been asked this, you know, we will be asking for the stuff in for May, when all the, you know, at the start of May, when all the systems have been updated, when the HMRC should have the P11, the P60s, they should be available by the button click. It will then be, you know, the clock starts running, you know, because the earlier, as I say, the earlier they do it, the less chance they've got of HMRC inquiry. I did my tax return on the 10th of April.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got it out of the way, and I was actually annoyed that I didn't do it on the night, but you know, so, and we, you know, we put the accounts in for our company within a week or two of the year end, and we say to clients, look, you can look at how we do things. This is entirely possible if you've got good systems and procedures. And then they say, oh, how do we do that? And then, you know, you can, and it can make it, you know, okay, they might not do it in 2 weeks, but for those clients who are on bookkeeping, that's what we're aiming to do. Is it's done within the month. Turn around. you know,
Mm.
because then they know really early what their tax thing, and that's the main thing they want. Most important thing, basically, is how much tax do I have to pay. It's how much money have I got to put aside.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
that's all they're
budgeting for it,
interested
isn't
in.
it?
It is, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you know, you can, and if you're doing their bookkeeping, you can tell them as you go through here, this is our tax estimate that you need
Yes.
to put aside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, those of you that have come on, which is fantastic, part of this is because you are taking control of this stuff. And it's lovely to hear so many of you so relaxed in January, which is really, really nice. That's our aim. So for those people that are just about to join AVN, okay, because we've got masterclasses coming up, who have just had or having a hellish January, what is the one thing you would advise them to do to make sure that the following January would be good for them?
What I'd recommend is first of all, reconcile. If you've got things on more than one system, reconcile what you've got in terms of the tax returns that are going to have to be done in February when you don't just go when it's done, or if it's March, if they say, but you know, late January, once you've got basically through it, identify identify the clients, the ones who are the problems, and then you tell them when you want it for next year. And then you tell them that the money back guarantee, if you are using that, only applies if they get it in by such and such. And this is what you want. Do they see a problem? Now, a lot of them just won't come back because they just think, okay. But then you put it out there and you'll find the drip, drip, drip does make people get things into you early. And if you can say, this is how you can help yourself, this is what you should be doing. These are some of the tools we've got, bookkeeping systems, whatever, so that you can do it. And that's important because, of course, remember that, you know, the next big thing is MTDs coming in.
Yeah.
And it'll be there sooner than we think because the months just go by, don't they?
Yeah, they keep changing the date, but even so, it's not just, you know, there's us getting that ready for that. It means that they've got better data as well, isn't it? If we can get it online.
And
what about you, Stephen? Sorry.
No, so I was just going to say quickly on that. And I was on the thing with HMRC. One of the guys, they said, well, how are you going to advertise this to people? And they said, we're not, we're going to rely on you to do it. So that's how helpful it's going to be. So we need to be telling people now to start getting in the good habits.
Yeah. Stephen, what advice would you give somebody who was just joining AVN, who was having a bit of a stressful January? How could they make sure that next January is better?
I think to take control of the clients, because at the moment it seems to be very much has been a story of the clients taking control of us. And I think once we start to get organised and set out our game plan and make the clients aware of what our timescales are and the reasons why they're those timescales, explain them to the clients, give them good notice. I think it's getting people organised, and that's what we've done over the last couple of years now. We've kind of explained our game plan. We've sent the letters out to the clients in good time, saying, if you get your tax return by this, it will be this. If you deliver it after the 31st of October, expect a 50% increase in fee. And that's had a good effect on the clients. And I think that's the big counter why we got the tax returns in. It was a bit of missing information, and that's the bit that we've got. There's only a couple of clients whom I think there's 2 clients. It's fair to say, well, we haven't got the information in, and the rest is just missing information. So it has worked, and I dare say those clients. I'll be brutally frank. The reason we're not sacking those clients is because I was at school with one of them. And he's just, he's a genuinely nice bloke, but he's just bloody disorganised, pardon my French, so I feel a bit reticent to sack him. I think the other guys on the team are probably thinking, why am I not sacking him? But there we go. That's my advice. Get organised, get your letters out, and state your game plan.
Dawn, what would be your advice?
Well, I would say that it's actually very hard to change clients when you've had them for as long as I have had. It's hard to change the way you work with them, but I think a change of mindset from my point of view, in terms of I can only do so much, and instead of killing myself right to the last, accept if they don't get it in, well then it's not my problem, it's their problem. The other thing that we're doing proactively this year is we're sending out, or we have sent out, the tax planner schedule, which goes through all the different taxes, gives them the opportunity to fill in their details, tell them to get a folder and put all their information in so that they can be starting to get it ready for the 5th of April again. And we're trying to be proactive in that respect. So it's just, you work with them, you try your best. Some will be good and follow through. Others, you'll never change them.
I'd agree with that, Dawn. Some people are never going to be changed, are they? Sometimes they're.
No, with the greatest one in the world,
totally
and you
agree.
know,
Yeah.
some of them are the nicest people, you
Yeah.
know, and good clients and good payers. But you just have to take each one as you see them, you know, and find them and try and coerce them one way or the other.
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, I've acted for this client, this one I was telling you about, this friend. I reckon, well, off and on. I mean, I've done his accounts, actually been involved in doing his accounts now since 1989, I think was the first time I did his accounts. I don't look young enough, do I? I know I don't look old enough.
Don't look old enough. That's the right one.
But the sort of the general thing is, though, he still is doing the same thing, and whether it's been with other accountants, other people, whatever, it just doesn't seem to be able to do it. It's just, that's just him. But you're right. We'll see. I think clients will be trainable. And I think technology is getting there where we can do it for them now if they're prepared to learn. And that's where I think, Emma, your bits on the kind of, is your time really well spent doing the admin, sorting out your bookkeeping? Send it to us. You get on with what you can do best. And I think that's the best way forward. I don't know what you think to that, Christopher. You're nodding there. And I think probably, what do you think?
A couple of things that, yeah, I agree with you on that. My sort of experience in life generally is that you talked about the 50% increase, is you tell them there's going to be a 20% increase, but if they get the stuff to you on that date, it'll only be 10% or 5%. And most people don't, my experience in life is people get pissed off when you penalise them. They then think about going to a different accountant who won't penalise them. Even if they like it, they think, well, hang on, you know, I'm paying for it and so on. Whereas if you say, give them an incentive, most people, and when you've got things like, you know, people are much better at taking up tax incentives than they are tax penalties and that sort of thing. And you know, it's not like, I mean, I got done for driving past a camera, but I didn't realize my road had changed. Anyway, you know, you get the £135 fine cut to whatever, and you don't do it again. And they can do that, but we can't, you know, we can't take our clients to court and impose that on them. And there's also a question of engagement letters, but you know, you certainly can give them an apparent rebate. And then if you've done that, you said it's going up by 20%, it does go up that next year. So in your repeating transaction, if you're using Xero, you put that in and then give them the discount and they see it. And it's like, okay, oh, it is worth doing. Some of them will respond to it. And again, but you're right, there are those others who just won't. But there will be, unless you've got a really bad set of D clients, in which case you should be looking at anyway, most people will respond to it. But with a friend, it's a different matter. You have to look after them.
I really like Dawn's plan as well. Timing's a big issue, but I really like the fact that perhaps to send something out that lands at the beginning of April that says, you know, a red envelope or a box file or something that you go, right, this is from now on, anything that links to 5th of April, just chuck it in this box for us. And because again, it's that physical reminder, but also it's close to the time when they're starting to get those sort of statements or information coming through or whatever. And just again, reminding people to, I don't know how many of you are using client portals, but you know, things like, well, just upload this onto the client portal, use your phone, take a picture, shove it up in the portal. That's all I need you to do, you know, and try and make things as simple for people as possible. So you might know that on a certain date, most people are going to get a statement from, I know, say a savings account. So you might know that certain building society are sending out all their statements on a certain date because you can see that. And so you can just text everybody and go, all right, if you're with Nationwide, you know, you'll have probably got a statement today. Can you just take a photograph of it and put it up in the client portal? Because there's an opportunity, isn't it, to do things like that. That because people forget stuff like Stephen was saying, you know, they're busy working in their business. So we want to try and make it as easy as possible for them. To get your stuff through so you can move it faster. The other thing I was thinking about was just obviously, as you all have a little bit of time, I know obviously you're still busy, some of you, is have you set your plans for this year then about what goals you've achieved? Have you been working with your PGE on your one-page plan and your goals for 2022? Have you? Yes, you've been doing that. Well done, Chris. What about you, Stephen?
Yeah, I've been chatting to Andrew about that, and that is in progress as we speak, actually. So yeah,
I was expecting Andrew to be
now.
pushing some of these
Yeah.
things because that's his passion for it. Yeah,
He-
but this
he
is a
is.
good time. You know, now if you're not under a huge amount of work pressure, it's a good time to just step back, and I think to remember that the time spent just planning and thinking is really, really valuable time. We were talking about this in the office, you know, that sometimes you feel like if you're not physically working, you know, if I'm not typing something, if I'm not creating something, if I've got, you know, if I'm not physically doing something, then I'm not actually, I'm not being productive, then I'm not actually working properly. But actually that maybe an hour or two spent thinking and planning is so valuable because it makes the rest of what you're doing so much more productive, doesn't it? Not said that clearly, but you know what I mean. And I think this is a really good time to step aside, and just go, oh, just to sort of say, okay, let's just stop for a second, take an hour, 20 minutes even to begin with, you know, just have let's have 20 minutes and work out what is it that I want to get out of this year? What one thing, if I achieved it, would make me think that was a good year? You know, because the other problem we have, particularly with the profiles that we have, is that we're always thinking about things we haven't done as opposed to things we have done. So it might be good as well to just do a little reflection of what have you achieved this last year? What have you managed to do? And like the things you've been telling me about, that this January is different from last January. You know, what have you done that's made all that difference? How is that feeling now? And then what do you want for the next year? So again, we can measure it. And measuring, obviously, we talk about this, it's time, it's money, it's stress or emotional connection, isn't it, to things? And so this is a really good time to just take that aside a little bit and just think, right, what do I want for me personally this year? And then how can my business help me achieve this? Yeah, so I think this is a really, really important time. If you need to, go back to the goal setting tool that's in System Builder, okay, to just give you a little bit of structure. And remember to try and keep to that, to try and not be too woolly about it, to think about, you know, the smart thing that's, you know, specific, measurable, you know, have it thing. The other thing is maybe I always have a thing on my wall at home. I'm in the office today, that's smarter. So it's got the smart things, but then it's got two extra ones, which is E, which is ethical, because to us, I think it's all ethical, and R is reportable, so that you become, there's somebody who holds you account to it. Now you're great because you've got your PGs to help you with that. But again, sometimes in your personal goals, you might not want your PG to be involved with those, but maybe you've got somebody else who can hold you accountable for those things. So this is a really good time to look at that. A couple of people as well I've been talking to, I've recommended, we updated the career development review form recently. Kerry did some great stuff on it on wellness, but also we updated some other sections. It may still be in your pending documents, okay? So check in System Builder if the latest version is in pending, that you might need to approve. But again, that's another good way of you just setting down a line in the sand now for how it is at this point in this January and how you want it to be next January. Yeah, because you need to remind yourself of this great stuff. And I'm hoping all these things that you've been doing in the last year, you've also been recording somewhere, so that when we do our entries this year for the awards, you've already got stuff already there. And they don't have to be big, huge things. They're just things that have made a difference to you or to your clients. Okay. Is there anything people wanted to sort of focus on today?
Not in particular, Emma. I was just interested to see what we would be running through. So really just to see what.
Yeah, okay. So what I wanted to bring to your attention really was that the team here have been focusing this week and actually most of January, reviewing the systems and the resources in System Builder. Okay, so I'd like you to perhaps look into the documents that are in the pending section. You'll see some that we've just overwritten. So some of the action resources that we don't expect you to change, they will have just been overwritten. So you'll see the new versions come through. But if it's anything that's linked to systems, so I've been updating a lot of the operational stuff, it won't overwrite it because obviously you may have already changed bits on it. So they are in the pending, and you need to look at the external documents. So when you go into pending, there's all different types of pending on the left-hand side. I want you to make sure you look at external. That means it's come from AVN. There'll be lots of dates. Just scroll down and find the ones that have happened in the last month. Okay, and then review them and see if you want to use them or not. I've also put in, remember in previous ones, I've shown you that I did some flow charts about the operational systems. They are now in System Builder. So if you go into System Builder, there is now a new heading at the top that says workflows. And if you look in workflows, you'll see that I've started to put in some workflows for the operational part of an accountancy practice that you can then use and click through, that click straight through to the systems that support it, but just to be a bit more of a visual thing. Sometimes explaining to your team how a file works, how it moves through a process is really hard. So I've tried to make it visual. Again, there is a version in there that you can just click through, the version that's just a PowerPoint that you can just edit yourself. So you can change it and make it however you want, okay? But I think sometimes we just need something a little bit more visual. Once I've finished on the operation ones, I'll obviously move on to the other sections in System Builder and build those too. But I just wanted to show you what I've been working on. And it's really important that you just have a look. And if you've got any feedback as well, particularly on the operation systems, then please give me that back. I'm going to be changing all the communications to clients because obviously a lot of the time now we're not sending letters. We're sending emails and then putting stuff in portals. So I'm changing all of that wording. All of those documents will be changed this week. So there may be other things where you think, actually, this is no longer relevant, or we do it slightly differently. And it'd be really nice to get your feedback on that. Really helpful. Yes, Steve?
Emma, just thanks for that. That's really good. I just having a look at the actual System Builders, the workflow. It's great. Really like that. And I just wondered, at some point, I can book it through your through the website, if you like. But could myself and a colleague of mine in February, could we just kind of get together for a session, just for both of us to recap on how to publish the documents and make sure we're doing it the right way? Because we're going to be using that as part of what we're doing next. This next couple of months.
Yeah, that's perfect. Or if you want, we can book one of the Tuesday trainings for everybody to go through that if you want to.
That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be perfect. Actually, I'll
And then if I tell you which Tuesday would work for you, actually, which second or beginning of February?
Let's have a look. Probably not the 2nd February. Probably the second week. Probably would be better, perhaps.
Yeah. Okay.
If possible.
Okay.
Does that fit in with like the software? Because you do the software and the training, don't you, as well? So
yeah, on the second week. Yeah. So let's do that. So you want to do review and publishing? Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put that in our plan.
Publishing. Great.
And then you can bring your team along too.
Perfect. Thanks. And when is the next masterclass, by the way?
The next one is in March. Have you got these lovely documents that we've been sending out?
No, that's it. I've not been into the office for a week or two. So
okay, all right. Well,
and I've not received that in the post. You said it's been sent out by post.
Yeah,
I haven't received it. Well, the other day I was given post for another person's street, and I gave it back to the postman. I saw him and said, actually, these are wrong. So I don't know whether it could have been misdelivered. So could you send me another one out, please?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And just let me know, just so I'll keep an eye for it.
Yeah.
That'd be really useful for Archie as well.
Yeah. So our next masterclass is on the 15th and 16th of March. It's a virtual one. We were planning to do a live one at the beginning of March, but unfortunately, as everybody's slightly concerned, there's been an issue with the venue, obviously, and stuff. So
right.
Just bear with me. I'm just going to put you on hold. Okay.
It's okay.
So I just added on that. I went to the website looking at training and events, and that's still showing the 1st to 2nd of March.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
it would be good to have that updated. So then, you know, because I've done the masterclass twice, but obviously Archie's joined us now. We're taking another Kickstarter on, so it'd be good to know when we, just so to get that.
Right, okay, I'll sort that out. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
So is it, are we like, I mean, they're saying they're going to lift all these restrictions on whatever dates. Are we going to be having, are we like these are we going to be, are we likely to be going back to in-person training events, do you think, or was that something?
Yes, that our goal is, our goal was from March, but it might be April, was to actually do all the live training events, including the roadmap workshops live, but also live stream them at the same time, so that those people who felt that they were still very uncomfortable could participate. Obviously, a very different experience for them than being live, but hopefully people will come and be live because it's much better when we interact and share.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But
seeing it on a big screen rather than on a little screen.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the technology set up and I've been testing it for us to be able to sort of have somebody filming the room and being able to zoom in and show slides so that they can be there. But obviously they've not got it's not as much fun when you're trying to communicate and share stuff and learn from each other, is it? When a live event's so much better for that.
So these ones that are kind of training, goal setting, clarity and so on, they're all presumably all online, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
For February, yes.
Great. Well, that'll be useful. Yeah, great.
Yeah. Have you booked on the goal setting one?
I'm about to.
Good. Well, that's the other thing I was just going to suggest. Obviously, that's being run by a lovely Kerry. So hopefully that'll be good to link to what we've just been talking about.
Yeah, I think all of those actually, I think I've done them before, but it's good to refresh them.
Yeah, I think it is. And I think it's quite interesting as well. I've noticed that a few people have gone back and reviewed their positioning workbooks again, now that they've changed their mindset and they've changed, you know, they've got a better idea of who they want to work with. It's good to go back and just review what you put in that workbook and then just see, okay, what needs tweaking, you know, what are we going to be changing? So that might be a useful thing for some people. Okay. Dawn, is there anything that you would like us to be helping you with or covering today?
No, I can't really think of anything, Emma. It's just hectic here at this end, so I haven't really time to sit and think about it.
Oh, thank you for making the effort to come. I know obviously when it's really busy, it's hard work with that. But again, I think it's about working out how we can make sure that it's better next year.
It's also good to listen to other people and see what they're doing and see if you can pick up things, you know, so I find that invaluable.
Yeah. Okay, well, if there isn't anything else that people want us to cover, I'm going to let this be a short one today. Okay, so next week we're back down to software. If there is anything you want me to cover specifically, like Stephen's mentioned, or any sort of challenge that you've got as a business, then please just drop me a line, because I'm willing to spend do a proper section on training on something if that's more helpful. I will be doing a few on marketing in the next few weeks, but I just, if there's anything else you want to do, please let me know. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time. Sorry. I'd like to book another one with you just on our dear old friend Time's Up, because we've been using it and I've had some questions on it. Okay.
Can I just do it through the book a thing on the AVN?
Yeah, book a call.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely.
Brilliant.
And is there now an iPad app for them? Was that gone now?
No, it's gone, unfortunately.
Has it gone? Okay, we can still do it on screen.
The link. Yes,
okay.
You can still do it on screen. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks then. See you soon.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Emma. See you soon. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.